Macedonia did a 50th, and this time it's a video response to Mamemeister, and it's 5 random questions to the YouTube community. So anyway, let's get on with this one. Right, so number 1. What is your favourite video game medium? Example, tape, disc, touch, blah 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 blah, and why? Well, when it comes to DVDs and CDs, they actually can store quite a lot. Unfortunately, the biggest problem with them currently at the moment is, on all the modern systems, is you're just literally downloading games, but then you have to download them actually to the hard drive to play them, because they're not designing CD drives fast enough to read the data off the disc anymore. And you've got all the complete nonsense that patches and all these games are taking way too much room up these days. It's getting really just stupid how much memory games are taking up. I mean, you've got you're on Blu-rays now that can hold 50 gigabytes at least, and they're doing better Blu-rays that can hold even more. Yeah, you've got games like Master Chief Collection that the multiplayer is DLC, is basically a DLC patch. Instead of, like, you know, just throwing it on its own separate Blu-ray, you know, like they did with Halo ODST, where they had an extra disc that had Halo 3's multiplayer maps on it. But no, they can't do that these days. No, they have to make it some nonsense. So if you want to play Halo online, you basically have 30 gigabytes plus of your you need about 50 gigabytes plus of your hard drive just to play the thing, and it's just a pain in the backside. I mean, why can't I just get it on a CD and float in? So yeah, that's one of the big problems that DVDs and Blu-rays have now when it comes to games anyway, not when it comes to other formats, because the size is plenty enough. But yeah, so well, I think Blu-rays are pretty hard to destroy. I mean, the far less easy scratchable than a DVD is, that's for sure, or a music CD. But at the same time, it's not like I'm gonna go around destroying them on purpose because I'm not a lunatic. But really, I think the best type of format for video games is cartridges, and there's a simple reason behind this. Cartridges, usually, when you buy a cartridge, it'll just plug in straight away to the system, if it's a handheld or a console, and just load up just like that. You won't have to sit there, you won't have to download mega long patches or anything like that. You just boot it up and it loads up. While some modern games do have loading times in cartridges, specifically I'm talking about very few DS games had it, such as Rayman on the DS, which was actually part of the N64 version. But yeah, loading times was pretty rare on the actual regular DS, but the 3DS, some games do have loading times, but the loading times are only a few seconds. And it's not a big deal. It's the same with the Vita actually, that's got the exact same like loading times. Loading times are a bit longer on the Vita, but they're a lot shorter than there was on the PSP, and that won't really have to read off the UMDs, that's for sure. And the thing is, when it comes, especially when it comes to the 3DS, yep, games do have patches, but sometimes, but they're not massive file sizes like they are in the system out there at the moment. I mean, my 3DS came with a 2 GB card, built in. I've still not fully filled that up. Well, yeah, about Smash Brothers takes about half of it up just for all the extra DLC, just so I can play it online multiplayer on it, and for all the new character content, which I never actually purchased, but it's still in the game, so I can actually see if people use it. And now it takes up what, like 1 GB worth, and that was an entire game, and that added loads of stuff. So I'm not going to complain about Nintendo about the 3DS when it comes to patch sizes, because they're nice and small. Unfortunately, the Vita doesn't do that, does it? The Vita has to be stupid about this thing. I mean, while pretty much all Vita games you literally turn on and boom, the game's working fine. Well, there's some games that's not unfortunately the case with. Prime example, Sony was really cheap with the Vita cartridges and they wouldn't make them go over 4 GB in size. Which, you might say, well that's loads, but the big problem is, with that is...
Perfect.
Yeah. Games like Ratchet and Clank Trilogy, Sly Cooper Trilogy... These trilogy games on the actual Vita, on the cartridge themselves, they only have the first 2 games on them. The third game, you have to download from the PSN store for a digital code. So if you buy it used, even though it's called Ratchet and Clank the Trilogy, it's not a trilogy, you're getting 2 games. You're not getting a trilogy, which is itself a scam. I mean, for some reason Sony refused to like just make a separate cartridge for the third game. And don't say, well, that'd be a waste of space throwing a game on a cartridge from a Binet no room. Well, Minecraft has a cartridge version, and that game's under like 300 MB. so they can't use that excuse. They was just cheap and didn't want to make double cartridges. Another one is Final Fantasy X. If you want to play it 10.2 on the Vita, it's literally a download code. So you get a used copy, all you get is the original game, you don't get a sequel. And that's not a big problem with cartridges on Nintendo though, so I don't understand. But other problem with the cartridges on that is one game they didn't have enough room to fit the story mode in it, and it was a fighting game. I mean, the game was BlazBlue, by the way, so I had to actually take it back to the store because I couldn't download due to the stupid way the Vita was programmed. I could not download the actual this DLC for story mode of a fighting game because they did not include it on the cartridge. And, well, I'm not sure if this will be a problem in the long run, because eventually I'm sure Sony won't care less about the Vita and people will just hack it like crazy and just find a way to just dump the game just to get games working on it perfectly fine and not including the patches. Hopefully they'll actually then, the people will actually compress the file sizes down. So remember people did that with 3DS flash cards. They actually compress some of the game sizes down sometimes. If you like, they'd update patches on them, like obviously fan-made ones. And yeah, that's one problem I really don't like about the Vita. Well, the machine has lots of problems in the light system. And one of the most idiotic things it does is, you've got a game, and you get a download patch for it, like an update patch. It throws that in with the save file. So I've got a game on there which is nearly 2 gigabytes, the save file of it, because literally about 99% of it is just the update patches, just added a few extra characters. And there's no way to separate the save file from the update patch. It's even worse if you buy it as an actual PSN download on there. It all goes into the same file as well, so yeah, that could be a 4 gigabyte plus file you've got, and then you have to faff around and just plug the thing in and plug the thing into your PC, download a specific software just to keep a backup of your save file, which is no way to separate save file from the rest of the content of the game. So yeah, so you essentially have your PC and you're wasting about 4 gigabytes of space on a single save file. Utterly stupid design. I don't know why they designed it like that, and why more people don't complain about it, and why they cannot change it. And the other thing about cartridges is they're getting smaller. I mean, the Vita cartridges are tiny. The 3DS ones are pretty small as well. Well, the rats are the same size as DS ones. And that's what makes me kind of interesting about cartridges in general. It's costing less and less to put more memory onto these little SD cards. So why they're not developing better software and hardware to read data off these cards faster? I mean, I think you can get mini SD cards up to 64 gigabytes, so why are Vita ones only up to 4 when you can get a mini SD for 64 gigabytes? That's what I don't understand. I mean, And there actually is a rumour going around that Nintendo's next console actually the games might actually be on cartridges of some kind instead of actual CD. And there's another good thing about cartridges in general. They're less prone to break. They'll last way longer because machines that use cartridges don't need a billion moving parts for the CD drives to like read the data off the disc and all that. So they should technically last longer because there's no moving parts needed. It's just a chip and it just reads off some circuits, some pins to read data off it. If you keep them pins clean, you should be fine. There's also the fact that, well, in the UK especially, it's not like your cartridge is just going to magically stop working anytime soon due to weather, because we don't have cold enough weather to freeze, to like get the chips frozen and damage them, and the weather's never warm enough to like melt the circuits either, so we're in a perfectly safe place with cartridges, and I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you, even though maybe the only thing in cartridges that usually does go sometimes is the battery on them. But that's only because it's a watch battery. The games without the watch battery are still playable, and you can, if you want to, replace them. A bit fiddly, but you can. I mean, prime example, Pokemon games. The early Pokemon games had a watch battery for like the in-game clocks. Well, I'm pretty sure so they can't save games on them anymore. That's just how the games were designed at the time, but they aren't going to be designed like that anymore, obviously, so it's never going to be a modern one, but I'm pretty sure that Vita is going to be the only Sony system that ever runs off cartridges. I mean, Nintendo, pretty sure, if the new system might, that's the problem, might run cartridges, and the 3DS, and if they make a successor to the 3DS, I'm pretty sure that'll run cartridges as well. It would not make much sense, because if they made run off CDs, it'd be a lot more heavier and bulkier. And I know the PSP wasn't the heaviest thing in the world, but it definitely felt more fragile than the DS did because of that big massive CD drive built into it. Well, anyway, so right, on to number 2. How much online gaming do you do now? Well, it's a funny one. My history of online gaming, I used to play games that no one's heard of. I mean, one of the first games I ever properly played online was Neopets.com. Well, it's not technically a video, well, that's actually a website. Crazy enough, the website's still actually up to this day. My account on there is 14 years old, 14 and a half years old. And that was a virtual pet-like game where you could feed pets, and the site's kind of gone downhill over the years, but even every I still go on it. It's literally one of the oldest things I've got left of my history of starting up on the internet. I mean, when I was first playing on that, we were still on like dial-up, so I could only go on an hour like a week, because you need a telephone line and all that. Yeah, so that's the first one. Right, took loads of hours on that. I used to even go to college and play it because they never blocked the website for years. When I wasn't doing work, by the way, I wasn't doing it, I wasn't slacking off lessons, I was actually only going on it when I finished, so I wasn't doing anything against the law rules, by the way. Well, anyway, so the first PC Online one I properly played, and this is going to be one that no one's going to have heard of, but it's, maybe you have heard of it. It was a very basic, I don't know how I even found out about this game. It was a very basic game on MS Paint called, we used MS Paint for its graphics, called Well of Souls, and it was technically a single player game, but it had an online connection thing, so I suppose it was an MMO or such. You essentially played as a character and you had to click the mouse to do spells. It was actually a laughably broken game, to be honest. The game was easily broken. I mean, all you need to do to basically get good at that game was go nuts, just use all your magic abilities, and just learn all the healing spells, and then by the time you got to about the 3rd or 4th healing spell, you could literally take on enemies about 30 or 20 levels above you easily, because you just keep spamming healing spells until you heal yourself. Interesting enough, I never 100% beat the game, because yes, the game did have a story quest, but I could never actually find out the way to do the final quest to unlock the final boss. Though I actually fought the final boss, because you can actually fight the final boss in the game in a volcano area that needs you need a specific equipment on called magma boots. And so when you go in this area, you can fight about up to 5 of the final boss at once. The game had lots of like things like pets. The game did have a paid version, but all it did is make your letters go gold, and you could type commands into your pet to do attacks. Everything else in the game was free. I don't see why people actually bothered spending money on it, to be honest, but yeah, the game was easily brokeable. I mean, I think a lot of hours in this game. Unfortunately, it never kept your save files when it tried multiple PCs, so I had to start over again. Though actually getting to like level 20, I think the max level was 100. Only took like 20 hours if you knew what you were doing. I think I got some amusing things about it, yeah. Mortal Kombat sound effects. Yeah. When you went into a cave, the battle music was the Mortal Kombat movie theme song. A MIDI of it for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, the game had things like a tame ability where you could like tame monsters to have as pets to help you attack. Yeah, that was something like a question game where you could battle other pets, and you got some special pets like a ghost dragon or a transparent tarantula or earth monster. The game had things like player killing and stuff that you could do in it, but that's one of the things where the game was kind of massively broken, because the game used MS Paint files for the character models. So you could later edit the character models, and many people did this to other character sprites from other video games. So I know people see it. Or you could just literally just remove all the sprite models and have a blank page, and then use invisible. So if you was a player killer character with a sword, you could just secretly stealth kill people by going into their battles after they've finished it. Yeah, it was not the most balanced thing in the world. Oh yeah, one of the characters' classes was called a lobber that throwed things, and one of the weapon higher levels was kitchen sinks, which made glass shattering sound effects and plate shattering sounds from the room. You didn't like kitchen sinks. Yeah. The game had a lot of like crazy mods as well. There was a mod called Demon. One of my favourite mods was one called Demons. You can't actually find this mod anymore. I don't know if the game exists anymore, but Demons was essentially a fan mod. Demons was essentially be quiet. Demons was essentially a fan mod, because the game could do mods, and it made by someone, and they had some really random stuff in it, like the guy made this one, developed it. So the game starts bizarrely enough with the intro of Resident Evil 1. So instead of having the normal characters, you've got Chuck D. Head from Decap Attack. And the theme music has started a MIDI version of We Are the Champions by Queen. This was actually one of the best ones, I thought, because it was the most funnest. And definitely the funnest mod. I mean, there's a few mod ones. They all technically played the same, but that one you had to fight the Great Gargoyle or something, which is actually a sprite ripped from the game Demon Crest. Yeah, there's lots of sprite rips, and one of the areas in that one just got Half-Life and badly pixelated pictures of Half-Life monsters. That one was really good, and bizarrely enough, I think the final boss had to get summoning an army of earthworm gyms at you. Oh yeah, and the monk Toki from the game Tokai. Toki. Yeah, and so then the other mods they had, there was one that's called World War or something, where you had to fight things like Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden and tanks and stuff. There was a spaceship one that was really difficult. There was like a Castlevania themed one that was really difficult as well. And there was a Star Wars one which I actually beat that one. It was actually released around the time episode 1 came out, and I picked the Trade Federation as my starting group. The problem with picking the Trade Federation is the developer of it never made any quests for them. Everyone else got quests, but the Trade Federation could go everywhere and destroy the map, but they never got any actual quests. I remember every time you went into a room and you got a voice sample those weird looking alien things out there, like, "Are you brain dead?" Yeah, that was the very first game I properly played online. Right, so they went into a game and it definitely doesn't exist anymore. Called, I think it was a Microsoft game actually. It was a weird like strategy-like game called Ants or something. I can't remember much about it, but you had to like build forts and like protect things. It was a free game, but it had online. It doesn't exist anymore either. So after that, well, so I tried an actual proper MMO, and the one I picked unfortunately was Maple Story when it was in beta mode, beta access. Oh, pardon me. When it was in beta access. And my opinion of that was, well, it was obviously in beta and it was too much of a grind fest, to be honest. And they kept altering the code because they were obviously still being made. Even a bubble from Bubble Bobble and one of the shop icons for some reason back then. I don't know why it was doing there, but I don't know if it's still there. Probably not. I've not played the game in a very long time. Because the one reason why I quit was they just literally stopped it. They said, oh yeah, we're going to go into the final version and we're going to force you to lose all your progress. And, yeah, nuts to that. And never went back. I played a game similar to it years ago called Ghost Online, but it just stopped working one day, so oh well. I think that would be a bit more balanced, that one. But when it comes to modern online games, what do I play? Modern online games. Well, one I played the most on the 360 definitely had to be, interestingly enough, the game that actually was free to play to begin with. It was called Happy Wars. I spent over 100 hours on that game. No, I actually got max level in the game, even with all that time, but I've got very high level equipment and never spent a single penny on the game. Actually, that game was pretty that game literally has given me about, when it comes to free in-game currency, it's given me what, like, at least about £10 free in-game currency just for constantly playing it. Over like 2 years. Watching my Xbox Live run out at the moment, so I can't play it and I'll have to redo that, but when it comes to PC, the one I play the most, well currently at the most, is what is it again? The game I actually played also on the 360, which has bots in the game, so even if they shut the online down of it, it'd be 100% playable, and that was a game called Awesomenauts. I don't know how to explain the game. It's like some weird defense game where you play as a bunch of characters. It's meant to be references to 80s cartoon characters, but they seem very vague at that, to be honest. It's 2D and it's a platform game, and I'm not exactly very good at it, but I'm not actually horrendous at it. I kind of know what I'm doing, and usually being a character I suppose on a difficult level of hard, but I got used to playing as him, so yeah. There's that, and the other game the online play most online is Dev Pro, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro as it's sometimes called. And that's basically a free, like, unofficial online simulation of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game where you can play online against people. Not much else you can really say there, but that's what it is, but yeah. And the game I probably played the most online, and this should not be a surprise to anyone who knows me, is probably Pokemon. I just love playing random online Pokemon battles when I'm in the middle of like, Skype calls or just doing watching videos and all that, because it's a perfect game to play like that because I know what I'm doing and it's easy to concentrate on the game. It's a great game for that, to be honest. So yeah, I do play lots of online games, but the ones I play are usually never with many people I know, it's just usually random people. Right, number 3. Have you ever written a game? No. Not really, no. But I suppose in a way I kind of did, in a sort of way. I mean, years ago my old PC had a hacked version of some software called RPG Maker XP, which jobs can make little RPGs on, like original Final Fantasy style ones. And I kind of made a game on that. It wasn't exactly a very good game, mind you, but it had some really stupid, nonsensical scenes in it that made up like you went into a concert hall and the band started playing and then someone would just randomly turn into a werewolf and you need to beat him up for no reason. then fight some zombies. Well, yeah, it was pretty random, and yeah, it wasn't exactly a well-written thing. I made it just fun, really. Of course, the game's long lost now, and a long dead machine hasn't well been in the scrap heap for like 10 years, so no one's gonna actually play it. So, and I made a few levels on things. I made a level on Little Big Planet on the PSP, and some people downloaded that, if that counts, and a few levels on Disney Infinity. But that's really about it. I've never really truly written a game, to be honest. Right, so number 4. Do you ever think one day you'll decide to give up with YouTube, and why? I don't think I will give up with YouTube. I mean, this is my second YouTube account. The very first YouTube account didn't really have much on it, to be honest. I would just left it alone one day, and suddenly it just closed down on its own. Probably some stupid third-party copyright nonsense, some company or something about something on it that they didn't like. Which wasn't a big deal because nothing really of importance was on that channel anyway, and anything I wanted I've done much better on this current channel anyway, so it's not a big deal. And back when that channel, had the old channel, there was no real good way to make video software. Like, there was no good recording software that was available to me. So there was, by the time I got by time we're in 2003 or 2013 or 2014, there was actually stuff, actually proper video content. I could actually make actual YouTube videos of the quality that I wanted to. So that's what I did, and I've been doing that since. Now I do these videos, it's a bit strange, but I have my own way of doing videos. I mean, lots of the videos I make, I don't actually have a plan to actually do. I just sit there with it. Yeah, I want to do a video on that, and I'll just do a video on that. It don't mean I'll get the video done straight away, but that's what happens. Right, so number 5. How many hours a week do you devote to making YouTube content? Yeah, again, this depends. I mean, the way I do YouTube content mostly is I record videos in like a few at once and upload them all at once, but take a while putting them up. I mean, I get in some mood someday. I just want to do a video, and like about 4 days ago, I started doing a big project, and well, this project ended up becoming 2 projects. One of the projects was a lot easier, and that one's already up, which is about giant monster arcade games. But then I realised some of these games are similar to another video I wanted to do a topic on, so one day I just sat there and just recorded loads of footage of games I wanted. And then a few days ago I edited it all together and made it into an actual video. And that video is about fighting game history, and that'll be up when this video gets released, at least tomorrow, the day after this video. But I've already completed it and it's all there done. But how many hours do I do? Well, that one took about 3 or 4 hours. About 3 hours editing it, but recording the footage took about at least another hour because we had to do about footage for about 20 games at least for that one. So yeah, there was that as well. But usually when it comes to recording footage, most of the times, most of my videos, I try to keep them under an hour long. I know it sounds ridiculous, but a lot of my videos are under 30 minutes. I usually try to keep them that short, but if I'm having fun, I just keep recording. I never stop. That's just how it is. I mean, there was one game and literally I was recording it and it was just meant to be a quick playthrough of the game, and an hour passed and actually it ended up being a full playthrough of the game because I ended up beating the entire game because I enjoyed it that much. I've not uploaded that one yet, but I had to like pause the recording for a second as well because the game required the PC mouse, and the batteries went out the mouse, so I had to swap the batteries in the mouse as well. Yeah. So when it comes to recording, it's probably about usually 3 to 4 hours a week. I'd put like another hour on there if if it's practice runs for the Tubers High Score Challenge, because I do that every fortnight. If anyone wants to join, please do. We're not going to bite you. So yeah, that was my responses to Mamemeister on his 5 community questions. So thank you for watching and listening.